Dr. Preeti Chhabra, please come on stage. Dr. Chhabra has been practicing for the last 27 years. She is a senior consultant Ayurveda practicing in Delhi. The services she offers in the field of Panchakarma, Agnikarma, Suvarna, Prashan.
I think the Manda Guna has been reached out by the lecture of Dr. Gopakumar. Our brains, the Mastisha Majja has been churned very nicely by Dr. Gopakumar, and we are all fresh after the lunch hour, the Madhyan hour. The topic allotted to me was Anushastra Karma for scalp and hair health, a very unique topic. But since I am practicing it and I've got very good results, I am here to show you the results, all of you. Anushastra, among the ancient, these are the ancient innovative surgical methods elaborated by Acharya Sushruta, and they are the surgical procedures performed by non-surgical instruments. Acharya Sushruta has listed many Anushastras, but in reference to, in context of the hair health and the scalp health, I would be taking discussing only three of them: the Kshaar Karma, the Agni Karma, and the Jaloka Karma. These are effectively used in various elements of scalp, influencing hair health at large, changing the landscapes in treatment. We all know Aushadh Chikitsa, Panchakarma Chikitsa, they are all reflecting, they have great influence on the hair health, but their Anushastra Karma also have a great role to play in securing the health of the scalp and the hair. These are, since the treatments are directly afflicted on the site, they provide very quick and effective cure. The merits of Anushastra are that these are marvels of the Shalya Chikitsa, which are minimally invasive and as no instrumentation is involved and hence cause minimal discomfort to the patients. They are very easily acceptable by the patients, very cost effective, cheap, and have high benefits over the invasive procedures. I will be talking about Kshaar Karma. Acharyas have told that Shastra Anushastrebhyo Kshara Pradhantama. Among the Shastra and Anushastra, Kshaar have been designated as the Pradhantam Karma, and they have very good efficacy in treating Davanam, that is dandruff, Kitic, that is scalp psoriasis, Arunchika, seborrheic dermatitis, Trimi, Tinea capitis, Indrulupa, Lupta, that is alopecia areata, Granthi, different growths in the scalp which we encounter in our day-to-day clinical practices. Kshaar is rated best among Shastra and Anushastras. Application of Kshaar removes the obstructed kapha, dead follicles by its latent property and promotes regeneration of hair follicles. Ksharambu Dhavan, that is irrigation of scalp with alkaline water, effectively checks Trimi, scalp psoriasis and fungal afflictions. Pratisarni Kshaar Karma is highly efficacious in hypertrophic and keratinized lesions. Kshaar Sutra is commonly used for Granthi Chikitsa. This is a case which I am here to present. This was a Granthi which was done in my clinical practice only. There was a Granthi in the scalp and which was reoccurring. The patient used to come. This was a young patient of 10 years only, and this Granthi used to come off again and again. He had got it surgically removed also, but this was reoccurring time and again. We did Kshaar Sutra Bandhan on this case and got excellent result, and after this there was no reoccurrence of the Granthi ever again. Now next is Rakta Mokshan for hair disorders. How we can apply Rakta Mokshan Chikitsa in case of scalp and hair diseases. Indralupta has been categorized in the category of Shudra Rogas by Sushruta, wherein vitiation of Vata and Pitta is there in association of Rakta and Kapha, whereas Acharya Vagbhat has categorized it as categorized it in Kapal Rogas, wherein Pitta is associated with Vata, which gets lodged in the hair follicles, resulting in hair fall. In Khalitya, there is vitiation of Pitta and Kapha, which accumulate in the Rom Kupa, the hair follicles, whereby supply of nutrients is hampered. Rakta Mokshan is very efficacious in all these conditions, wherein it establishes and improves the circulation and aids in hair regrowth. Now Pranchan Karma is also there, wherein multiple pricks with gentle minimal pressure are afflicted on the scalp with 24 gauge needle, and bloodletting is performed with the help of string or cupping. Draining of the vitiated rakta indirectly reduces the pitta dosha. Pranchan is ideal and safe for all kapal rogas, wherein ooze from the local capillaries drains off the toxins and stimulates the root, ensuring healthy hair growth. I would like to throw a little light on the bleach therapy or the Hiruda therapy, wherein leeches are applied over the scalp for different conditions, and we have got very encouraging results. This patient in particular, he was having male pattern baldness, and he was about to get married and very much concerned about his baldness. I conducted around 7 to 8 sessions of leech therapy on this patient, and he was regularly coming on weekly or fortnightly basis. And his hair was trimmed whenever he came. One fine day I asked, Avinash, what are you doing? What is the result? I am not able to decipher. Please let me know, are you really being benefited? Because when you come head shaped, and I am not able to assess what is the growth of your hair. Then he said, you keep on doing, ma'am, I am coming, don't you worry, I am getting result. My barber was telling me that your hair is improving. So this was a testimonial on the part of the patient, and I have used it in many indications wherein abscesses were treated very well, which we call Arunchika and Irivelika, run or ulcers which are non-healing in character, and there are certain conditions wherein in the scalp patients develop hypertrophic scars because of previous abscesses or previous lesions. There also you get very good results with the Rakta Mokshan through leeches. And Indralupta, Khalitya and Palitya, they all have very good response by leech therapy. Preliminary preparations, we need to counsel the patients very well, you need to show them videos, you need to give them testimonials, because not all patients at the very first sitting are ready to go for this leech therapy. You should be taking written consent, preparation of the patient and preparation of Jaloka is very important. And then few investigations should be done, they are mandatory, and for all safety purposes of the patient and of the doctor, they should be done. The contraindications of these therapies are uncontrolled diabetes, patients who are on anticoagulant therapy. The anticoagulant therapy should be withdrawn at least 48 to 70 hours prior to the therapy. Then patients on steroid and immunocompromised subjects should not be attempted for this therapy. And post-organ transplant also, this should not be done. This was a patient who got very good results, and we have few leech facts to share with you. These are the oldest blood letters. As we know, Rakta and Pitta Dhatu are Saman Dharmi, and whenever we have this Palitya and Khalitya, which are the commonest problems, hair problems we encounter, we need to take care of all these two dhatus in particular, this dhatu and this dosh in particular. So bloodletting gives very encouraging results in most of the problems of Khalitya and Palitya. These are the oldest blood letters, as I told you. They have come a big way, and a big comeback is awaited for them. Many institutes in Australia and in UK are doing purely leech therapy only for diabetes and hair problems. And leech is a bioapparatus that sucks about 3 to 5 ml of blood in 1 to 2 hours. And each leech has 3 suckers with 80 chitin teeth in each sucker, and there are around 240 suckers which are introduced into the skin. It is just like a sieve. The way you strain anything from the sieve, they sieve the toxins out of your bloodstream, and biopurification is ensured. This anticoagulation also has antiseptic properties, which is injected. It's not only that leech is sucking blood, there are around 100 chemicals which are injected into the bloodstream, which give a long-term, not side effect, but long-term benefits in most of the systems of the body. They not only cure, but have a great role in prevention also. Now, modern aspect of Jaloka of Charan. Once the leech is attached and cut through the skin with the 240 to 300 chitin tiny teeth, the saliva enters the bite site, and along with the enzymes responsible for all positive results in the body. Working together, they act to cure diseases present in the individual. Like it's been advocated that leech therapy should be done, or Rakta Mokshan should be done for all healthy individuals at least twice a year. The anti-clotting agents, the anticoagulating agents, the vasodilating agents, they all have synergistic and positive results on the body. And rejuvenation and regenerative effect, which is encountered in the scalp and hair health also. They boost the body's natural ability to heal itself. The potential to fully heal the damaged tissues and organs, offering solutions and hope for people who have the conditions which are today beyond the repair. Now next, why Agni Karma? Agni Karma has also a very good response in case of scalp health. Now, diseases which do not respond to medicines, use of sharp instruments and alkalis are finally cured by fire. Disease treated by thermal cautery will never reoccur again. This has been mentioned by Acharya Sushruta in chapter 12 of Sutrasthana. Agnikarma is the final armamentarium and an asset for any Ayurvedic physician and surgeon. It works when everything else has failed. When all modalities failed, Agnikarma is the last resort. Now, it involves direct or indirect application of Agni. By virtue of its Ushna, Tikshna, Laghu and Sukshma gunas, it is transferred by the Dvak Dhatu and gains entry into the small channels, the srotas of the body, and removing obstruction therein. Now the merits of Agni Karma are, they are very effective, safe, and they are well tolerated procedure with minimal pain and simple OPD procedure. It has supremacy above Char Karma as well. It is strongly indicated where diseases are likely to reoccur after surgery. Complication free and convenient method, drugless, no anesthesia, no admission, no sutures and no bleeding. It provides effective sterilization with no bacterial growth or suppuration. It has unparalleled response instantaneously, and it has sustained long-lasting results with minimal reoccurrence. It causes coagulation and closure of bleeding vessels and attains hemostasis instantaneously. It has shamak effect on both vata and kapha dosha. Most importantly, it's pocket-friendly and result-oriented. Now, therapeutic indications of Agni Karma in relation to hair disorders. In Charmkeel, warts or til kala, this is very effective. In moles, we usually get patients who have moles and they have difficulty in combing the hair because of these ever-growing moles which reoccur time and again. And then Mansankur, polyps and outgrowths in the scalp, they are very well tackled with Agni Karma. Arbud or small tumors, fistula, apache and painless hypergranulation scars or ulcers, they are also very effectively cured. This was a wart which was again reoccurring time and again, which was treated by Agni Karma. This was for the scalp wart. The wart came down instantaneously and there was no reoccurrence. It was just two things were required: aloe vera, fresh aloe vera and Agni Karma Shalaka. You can see the wart is gone and it never reoccurred. It's been almost 3 years now. The patient is healthy. Regular visits I have encountered. Whether there is any regrowth, there was no regrowth after this procedure. Now, contraindications of Agni Karma in Pitta Prakriti should not be attempted. In Grishma and Sharad Ritu, it should be abstained. Patients with history of neurogenic shock on the site of blood, prick of needle or trauma, they should also not be attempted for Agni Karma. Children below 10 years, weak, emaciated and senile subjects. Patients with Rakta Pitta, Atisar, multiple ulcers, uncontrolled diabetes, hypertension and all those categorized under the list of Asvedya, Agni Karma should not be done. Sensitive Laghu Vyadit patients also should not be the subjects for Agni Karma. Patients with lower status of immunity, those who are anemic, diabetic, obese, alcoholic, poison afflicted patients, they should not be the patients for Agni Karma. State of pregnancy, perforation and retained foreign body, in such subjects also Agni Karma should not be done. Now this can be done in any season except Sharad Ritu and Grishma Ritu. But today in the age of air conditioning, it can be done where the indications is there under controlled conditions. Now there are classifications. It can be done with Snigdha or Ruksh Dravya. It can be Sthanik. Akriti, it can be in the form of Valay, Bindu, Vilekha or Pratisaran. Dhatu, Spakka, Mans, Sira, Snayu, Asti, Sandhi. Here pertaining to this particular reference of hair, which is only Tvaka and Mans. And according to Dhanya Karna, it can be classified as plant origin, animal origin, metallic and others. The modality for transfer of heat to the body has to be selected very carefully. Panchadhatu Shilaka, which requires high temperature to the tune of 235 to 240 degrees to become red hot. This is usually selected to apply for different procedures. Now these are the different shapes in which we perform Agni Karma. Valaya is circular, Bindu dot-like, Vilekha and Pratisaran. Pratisaran or Ghashan is done on the front so that reoccurrence is not there. As I told you, Panchadhatu Shalaka with a combination of copper, iron, zinc, silver and tin. This is usually applied for most of the procedures. This is the Panchadhatu Shalaka which I have been using particularly. Now prerequisite of, again you need to have a written consent from the patient. Precise and perfect knowledge of the surface anatomy should be there with the clinician. Careful choice and assessment of the patient. We have to check vitals. Comprehensive knowledge of marma to avoid any injury to the marmas. Reassurance and counseling of the patient to maintain a comfortable posture before proceeding for the procedure. Relieve anxiety of the patient by ensuring to take deep breaths. Prophylactic injection TT may be given. Agni Viruddha Ahar, especially Pichal Ahar, is given before the procedure in all seasons and to all patients as it is Jeevniya, Balle, Sandhankar and Guru. Now, Dhanya Upkarani, apart from this Panchadhatu Shilaka, we can use Pipali, we can use turmeric, we can use Ajashakrit, Godant, Jambuvashta, Swarna Shalaka, Lord Shalaka. This selection is according to the condition of the patient and for which we are treating. This is usually used, these materials, Dhanya Upkarana, are usually used for the Tvacha, wherein Pipali, Ajashakrit, Godant, Shara and Shalaka are used. And for Mansgat Vyadi, like Arbud and like Masankur, Jambuvashta, Loh, Tamra Shalaka, Shodra or Swarna Panchadhatu Shalaka can be used. Before proceeding for Agnikam, we need to apply a Vathar oil, that is Sajradi oil or any other oil. We have to clean the area with Trifla Kashai or any antiseptic solution. Identify or mark the most tender point or the point where we need to target. We have to apply fresh Kumari, aloe vera. When rubbed vigorously, it has anesthetic effect. We have to hold the area very firmly because the other hair follicles should not be burned. Only the root or the pedicle of the growth should be targeted. We need to hold it with a forceps and select it according to the size and position of the growth. And it has to be performed until somewhere the lakshanas appear. And after that also Grit Kumari Majja has to be applied immediately, and dressing can be done with Madhu Sarpi and or Shodra Haritra. The area has to be left open. We can apply Shaddhat Grit or Jatyadi Grit after that. Trifla and Haritra may be added to Madhu Sarpi to reduce inflammation of the post-procedure pain. No need of dressing is there. We have to avoid wetting, and to avoid post-operative infections also, wetting should be avoided. Usually there is no need of antibiotic up to 70% relief in symptoms, but the growth is excised there and then. Just we have to dress up the wound with these materials. And repeated procedures are indicated in Shastras, but I don't have to do any procedure repeatedly after doing Agnikam. It is completely relieved in one go. There are few Updravas, but not many of them are encountered practically. There might be severe burning sensation, there might be a little pain, appearance of large vesicles may be there, but if we do the procedure with all the pre-procedure and post-procedure precautions, these complications usually do not appear. Suppuration and bleeding may be there, we have to take care of them accordingly. Non-healing ulcer formation, it is mentioned in the text, but it is not there because I have been doing it for the last about 6 to 7 years. Probable mode of action of Agnikam, therapeutic introduction of heat at this local site wherein Dhatu Utkleshan by heat transfer is there. Sthanik Amdosh Pachan improves the local Dhatva and Dosh Dhushya Samushna Vigatan takes place. Agnikam is selected as the first line of treatment where there is sharp pain due to Vata Prakop, wounds having hypergranulation and are hard and hypoaesthetic. Agni, due to its Ushna and Laghu, Tikshna, Sukshma and Arshikara gunas, penetrate deep into the deep and hard hyperkeratinized tissues and destroy the nucleus, the root cells. To conclude, Agnikam has all the merits to be incorporated into day-to-day clinical practice of hair care. If done with perfection, it offers immediate effect. It does not require any pre-procedure anesthesia or post-procedure analgesics. To sum up, our Samhitas are not only the treatise or science, they are actually encyclopedias of eternal universal truth and unchallengeable divine know-how. Thank you for your patience. Thank you very much.